Hi, I'm Chris with the Craft Beer Connoisseurs, and before the episode begins, I just wanted to provide you with a little information on who we are and how you can stay updated on all of our content. This podcast was created to showcase craft breweries and indulge in interesting conversation. We want to help promote a variety of breweries, and along the way have conversations ranging from sports to beer, and beer to, well, just about anything. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, stay tuned for today's episode. Welcome to Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Chris.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett. And along with us today is producer Dexter. Please don't slash us.
In today's episode, if we get through it, we'll be reviewing Thornbury Village Cider and Brewhouse from, you guessed it, Thornbury, Ontario.
Nice. Yeah, so we're going to be highlighting two beers. The first is Blue Mountain Light Lager. The second beer is Clark is in Session. It's a session IPA.
Anything to do with Clark Griswold?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Maybe.
And to finish up this episode, we will have a discussion on Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
All right, so like we mentioned, today we're going to be talking about Thornbury Brewery. So Thornbury Brewery is located, of course, as we mentioned, in Thornbury, Ontario, which is in the Blue Mountains, so
nice.
near Blue Mountain Resort.
Great.
For all those skiers out there. And it did start as a cidery, but within the last few years, they began brewing beer also. So we'll talk about how they got into that.
Yeah, and I mean, their ciders are fantastic. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very good for sure.
I like those. So, yeah, so it is located at 90 King Street East in Thornbury, and the area is well known for its apple growing.
When's apple season?
Oh, buddy, that comes into the fall.
Oh, does
so
it?
yeah. We're probably talking. Let's see,
October,
September to November. That's just probably apple
Farmer
season.
Tyler coming in handy there for sure.
Check that almanac, son.
I will for sure. Thornbury brews small batch European style pilsners and lagers.
Yeah.
Which we will get into obviously later on.
Yeah. So they, like I mentioned, they were founded, they started as a cidery, and so they were founded in 2007 as a cidery. So they've been doing ciders for well over a decade, and like we mentioned, they're really good. But in 2015, they acquired King Brewery, and that's when they started brewing craft beer.
Right. So that was the change and transition from the complete cidery. They said, you know what, we could do both.
Yeah, and that's a good point because they're not doing ciders. They're still doing ciders.
Right,
They're just doing beer in addition now as well.
Mix of both worlds.
And
I like it.
I don't know if anybody, we probably all have had Thornbury ciders at some point,
Absolutely.
right? Like they are great ciders.
If you will.
I have to, I guess.
and you would expect that from an area that's known for apples.
It's
right?
apples,
So,
right? Yeah. So currently they're working on the construction of a new full-size brewery, right? So they took over the King Brewery in 2015, and now they're just doing a full-size brewery. So that was going to open up, I believe, this past summer in 2020. But obviously because of COVID, they've kind of delayed a little bit with their plans, which might actually be advantageous for them, right? They could go back and say, you know, let's tweak this, let's change this.
Might be beneficial for them to delay a little bit and just, nail it right off the hop, right? Instead of just opening it just for the sake of opening it, right?
Exactly. And then if you can have it open at a time when maybe more people are allowed to come in due to COVID kind of easing and
less
that
restrictions
sort of thing.
for sure.
Absolutely.
So I'm just thinking with the King Brewery, this might be able to kind of transition and put their stamp on their own kind of brewery, right? So King Brewery obviously was in Nobleton, Ontario. So I think they had that, and that was kind of like a starting point.
Yep.
And now they can kind of leapfrog off that and put their stamp on like a Thornbury craft brewery kind of moniker, right?
Yeah, and I think they've been kind of branching out to do kind of their own type of beers rather than just going from those recipes that they got from King Brewery. So, for example, they do things called Red Door releases. So
what's that? Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. So it's exclusive cider and beer releases that are only available at the cidery or the brew house.
You mean I have to drive all the way up there just to get some exclusive stuff?
Absolutely.
Who wants to go on a road trip?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Anybody?
let's get in a vehicle and go. Yeah, no, that's good that they do that. I think it's nice that they put out their own product and you can buy in the LCBOs. You can purchase it in different locations,
grocery stores and everything.
Right, but to have the exclusives to drive in traffic to their actual brewery or their cider house. Like that's nice. I like that.
And that'll, I think, be a big appeal once they have the actual new part of the brewery open, is to have those Red Door releases, have those exclusive beers that you can only get at the brewery. I think it'll definitely drive traffic to the new spot.
And you want those staples in the LCBOs to drive people up to Thornbury.
Yeah.
So then they're going to try even more, right?
Right. And there's other breweries in the area. So
absolutely.
it's not like you just have to go up for one and say, okay, one and done.
Make a day, make a week of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we hit Collingwood like we reviewed in episode 5.
Right, and use that kind of as a point to kind of go up to that Blue Mountain area, right? So if you are a skier, you're snowboarder,
for sure,
you just want to kind of go away and see some nice space.
Absolutely,
Blue Mountain, that's where to go.
And they've definitely won some awards for some of the beers that they've put out.
Yeah,
right.
Some Canadian Brewing Awards. I should specifically mention the Canadian Brewing Awards.
Right.
So in 2019, their Black Mountain Side, which is a Baltic Porter, won silver.
Okay.
And in 2020, their Ladder Run, which is an amber lager, which you don't see, won bronze.
And so has anybody been to the brewery before?
I have not.
I have driven past it.
Okay, yeah. Producer Dexter has been, which I mean, yet again, I mean, this is,
you know what? Good for him.
Good for Dexter.
Good for him.
Yeah.
right. And this is why we bring in special producers for this, because sometimes if we haven't been to the brewery itself, we try to bring in a specialized individual like Dexter.
Yeah, he gets around.
To provide us a little bit of information. So, I think Dexter was there this past summer, and they had a great
was that
patio,
the same trip that Dexter that you went to Collingwood? Yeah.
No, that was a different producer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I could see where you get that confused.
But Dexter also
did they go together?
But Dexter
they went together.
Didn't bring us back anything from Thornbury.
No.
I think one was there and the other one was having an out of body experience.
See, and this is the problem: is we actually have to reach out to these producers and say, if you are also going to the breweries, to hook up the craft beer connoisseurs.
Right.
It's tough to get a producer for every episode. Let me tell you,
it is difficult.
It's getting more and more difficult. We're running out of people.
But you know what? I think we'll be all right because we'll maybe have some people reach out to us. But that's good that's good with the awards. I think one of the things that Thornbury is doing well is they've moved to eco-friendly packaging.
Yeah.
So with their 6-pack holder, it's made out of a wheat and barley waste. So that is kind of nice that they're just now creating the standard traditional plastic containers.
Yeah, and like those, we all know those packs that you use to attach your cans. I don't even know what they're called, but those 6-packs or 4-packs.
8-packs sometimes,
yeah. And those are recyclable, but at the same time, that's not the most eco-friendly that you can be. I think this is really eco-friendly because, like you said, it's made from waste and it's compostable. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and it holds your beers.
And it holds beers.
So that's the main point.
That's the most important part.
Right. Yeah, no, it's nice to see those kind of initiatives because it shows that they're taking it one step further. And being up in that Collingwood, Thornbury, Blue Mountain area, right, it is very scenic. It is very one with nature. So you want to make sure that they're giving back to nature and not putting out plastic.
Some great views up there while sampling some beers or ciders.
Yeah, it
absolutely
ties in nicely.
And so they've been doing the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. So this is something that a few breweries do. Kind of see that. So Brett, I see you crossing your fingers.
I hope I win.
So hopefully at this point, if you're listening, maybe you won something. But if not, hopefully you tried some good beers from
Just
Thornbury.
So you know, if myself or the producer, any one of us win, we are selling so hard on that. It's going to get bumping up Instagram, no problem.
So that's the thing about this episode is the intent is this episode drops on the 24th, right? So we're hoping that the episode does get out on the 24th. That's when we are releasing it. We have been in contact with some of the major podcast kind of holders, and they've said it might be difficult to get the episode out around that time period just because of
apparently
holidays.
People are taking vacations around that time, which is really strange.
Staff at Apple and Spotify are taking vacation.
Yeah, I think it's just as simple as it's just getting pushed out electronically. But the intent is that this episode does drop on Christmas Eve. So
let's be open.
Yeah, we're hoping that it gets out there. But
and when it comes to Thornbury, obviously we're going to link their social media media information on our pages.
For sure.
You're going to see a lot of stuff from us in terms of what they provide and everything that they have to offer.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So let's get into it and taste a couple of their beers.
For sure.
All right, a big shout out goes to Alex at Thornbury for supplying today's beers on this episode. So thank you, Alex.
Much appreciated.
Very much.
Say thank you, boys. Good job.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're going to open up the Blue Mountain Light Lager. Not now. Not now. We're not going to do it right now. Keep your hands to yourself.
Okay, fine.
This is a 4% ABV and a 20 IBU.
Yeah, so it's described as clean, dry, and a refreshing pale lager that anyone can appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has aromas of low malt and a light floral hop. Moderately grainy malt flavor with a well-balanced, dry, crisp finish.
Nice.
Okay.
So on Untapped, of course, you can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs.
Do it.
And the overall rating for Blue Mountain Light Lager is 3.36 bottle caps out of 5, with a total of 342 check-ins.
All right. So these are in a bottle. So you're not going to be hearing the can crack. You're going to be hearing the bottle.
I can't describe the can? What do you mean? I have to describe it as a
You can
bottle
describe
now?
the bottle. Still has a label.
Oh my god!
So somebody is adverse to change. So here we go. So let's open her up. And the pour.
Yes, we are going to pour them, of course. So we are drinking this lager out of a pint glass today. So make sure you use the proper glassware.
You guys should use your proper glassware. Chris is very important on that.
Sounds like there's some sirens in the background here.
Hope everybody's safe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know what? That's nice. That's a nice thing to say.
Thank you.
That's a very nice thing
I
to say.
can be nice occasionally.
No, you can really hear them going off.
Oh, yeah, they're going
I
off
think
for
what
sure.
the problem is here is that we are just cracked the beer open and they wanted to open up too, and they're excited to get here.
They're rushing to get here right now.
Lights and sirens, let's go.
Well, I'll tell you what. This looks like a lager, smells like a lager.
Does it taste like a lager?
Tastes like a porter.
We will see. I
Could you
imagine it will.
if there was a porter coming out tasting like one of this?
No, it is.
It is very clear.
It is a lager through and through. The smell, as you said, that is straight up lager. The looking at it, exactly as you said,
Yep.
it is a very much a lager. Now, I'm interested to see what they would consider a light lager in comparison to just a lager. I'm feeling like it's just probably going to be a lager.
I don't know.
I think probably the ABV, because we're at a 4% ABV.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with craft lagers, you'll probably see something a little higher.
It might also come from the Bohemian malts, right? It kind of makes more of a lager.
Right.
It is hopped with a Hallower 2.
That's your favorite hop.
I don't know if
to
I'm
say.
saying it
Yeah.
correctly
No, you're
again.
good. That was probably your best one yet.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of Howler 2 hops on the podcast.
There's a lot of hop names that you cannot physically describe because the names are so long or so weird.
Yeah. No, so this here comes in a clear glass bottle.
Yeah.
Very simple kind of design on the front of the bottle itself. Pretty straightforward.
Note, also, only 330 milliliters in this, not a 341.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're missing those 11 milliliters that you normally would get. in a
Yeah,
bottle. Just saying.
I find it interesting too. I'm going to steal a little bit of your sunshine on this one, Brett.
Go ahead.
But it says obviously established in 2007 in Thornbury Village, which I think is kind of interesting because are we going back to the Thornbury Village craft beer side of things? Because if that's the case, that didn't come into a little bit later.
2015, yeah.
So they're using the cidery kind of to launch for this kind of 2007 aspect. So just very
Which I
interesting
think
kind of.
makes sense because I think they had a lot more equity in the brand
Right.
name of
Yep.
Thornbury. So I
Yeah,
think it makes sense to
completely
do that
agree with
for
the
sure.
approach on it, but I think it's interesting to note that. But the beer itself is clear pretty well. You can see right through it. There's no sediment. None of that jazz.
I can
Good
clearly see
carbonation,
through it
too.
to see your face, for sure.
There you go. So,
Which means I wanted more of a hazy one, so then I can't see your face. Okay.
wow, there you go. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing: if you want to keep looking at me, Brett, you can probably start drinking it now. You might see a better picture.
Oh, I will.
Let's
I
get
think.
into it. Tastes like lager.
Yep. I think there is no differentiating from that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, a little different on the aftertaste there.
Yeah, it's a lager.
Yeah, very.
Like, I don't know what you say there. Right?
Very, refreshing, crisp. Kind of one. You could probably have 3 or 4 of these without even realizing it.
Right.
Especially on a hot summer day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or at the brewery.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Or a hot summer day at the brewery.
Oh. I love how you tied that in together.
Yes, going. No, it is a lager, and this is the thing. It's very difficult, in my opinion, to put a rating on the differences of a lager, right?
It's very hard to differentiate them unless you're, I think, really have an attuned palate. I don't know that.
And even then, you're using the same kind of ingredients. The only, I think, difference would be where the water's coming from to kind of impact that flavor.
Yeah, or the type of hops. But again, you're not going to be using those citrus hops.
No, citrus is going to stay off to the side. Cascade's going to be off.
Or something.
Yeah,
right?
you're probably won't be using those ones. So.
Simcoe, Idaho 7.
Yeah.
Just name dropping a
We're
few
just
hops
going
here.
to name hops.
Yeah, we could just hop from one to the next.
We could do a whole episode on hops.
Yeah.
Yeah, to come. But those are the things, right? It is a lager. To your point, I guess a light portion of is the alcohol content at 4%.
I think so, yeah.
Is it easily drinkable? Yeah, I think it's fairly easily drinkable.
I could easily crush this after a ball game. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with this beer. It's just like you said, it's hard to differentiate between other lagers.
Yeah. I also feel like this would be a good beer for somebody who isn't really interested in craft beer, sticks to the domestics, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
You give that person this, they're like, oh, okay, I can handle this.
For sure, and I think that's a lot with any kind of lager. Right?
Yeah,
like,
for
it
sure.
doesn't matter where it is.
It's
like
a good introduction to craft beer, for sure.
So the top 5 flavor profiles, I think this is pretty spot on for the first 4. The 5th one,
I don't know where the 5th one comes from.
Get out of here, you garbage.
They just needed to
Something
put a
else
fifth
to
one,
fill it.
yeah.
So we got number 1 is light, check. 2 smooth,
check.
Yeah, pretty smooth. 3 crisp, yeah.
Yes.
I get the crisp. Yeah. It's got that. 4 bright,
check.
Yep. And then 5 citrus.
Double X.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I'm not getting that.
No,
and
I get
Dexter shaking his head too. So I think we're all on board with that. Is the first 4 we see it. The 5th one not so much.
I totally agree with that.
But that yet again, those would I think consistently if you go onto the Untapped app while you're searching craft beer connoisseurs and adding us, is the top 4 for any kind of lager. I would almost bet those would be the top 4 for every single one of them.
I would agree.
They probably should be if they aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
If those aren't for a lager, the lager is probably not exactly what people are wanting.
Right.
For sure. So speaking of Untapped, let's see what the users think on this beer.
Okay. So the first one is Craig H. His username is Craig D. Harding. On October 5th said, "Ooh, these would be dangerous on a hot summer day. Make sure that it's ice cold. Thank you, Mystery Beer Fairy."
Wow.
Where is that in my life?
Yeah. I want a mystery beer fairy.
He gave it a 4 out of 5.
If you're a Mystery Beer Fairy, reach out to us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs on
Send some our
Instagram.
way, for sure.
But everything Craig said is spot on, right? Like hot summer day, like we said, we could just, have more of these than you think you're having.
So before we move on to the next one, with Christmas being hopefully tomorrow by the time this episode drops, can the Mystery Beer Fairy also double as Old Saint Nick?
I hope so.
I think there's a difference because the Mystery Beer Fairy, the fairy is like, you get like the star and like a tutu. Santa doesn't wear that. So I don't know if you want Santa in a fairy outfit to bring you beers.
If somebody is bringing me beers, I don't care.
I don't care what they're wearing.
Yeah.
But I want one of those elf for the shelves to bring me beers. That'd be great.
That's true.
That would
the
be
adult
perfect.
version.
Yeah.
Right?
Wake
Definitely
up in the
the adult
morning with a nice beer every morning.
Perhaps if
maybe
you-
not drink it in the morning.
Well, it depends.
I mean, Brett would.
I was just gonna
But
say,
yeah.
perhaps
I totally would.
If you're doing
beer
like
is beer any time of day.
a 3 a.m.er,
Yeah.
maybe time to crack it. Sorry, we got a little bit sidetracked there. Chris, you got the next one, bud.
Yeah, so the next review comes from James C., handled JC15T. Interesting.
Okay.
Said, some like it, not for me. The bud of craft beer.
Yeah.
James
Probably-
gave it a 3 out of 5.
Probably better to say the bud of craft beer than the bush of craft beer.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, I think that's pretty accurate, right? I think you're gonna have some individuals that like it, some people that won't. The bud of craft beer, I think, is is kind of a nice thing to say, right? It's a compliment because it is very
well. I mean,
standard.
People like Budweiser, right? So
Sure. and I like this, so it all comes in comparison.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off our ratings as well. And you know what? I think James C. might be onto something. I kind of see it the same way. Some individuals are going to like it. Some people won't. I feel like it's a very average, middle of the road kind of lager because that's what I see lagers are.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of different kind of flavors and taste to it, in my opinion. And so I'm going to give it a 3 as well. So I'm right there with you, James C.
All right. I'm going to go a little bit higher, kind of almost, again, like a standard rating that I have for lagers is basically like 3.5. So I'm going to go with a 3.5 here.
I'm going to go between you two, which is a spot nobody ever wants to go. 3.25. Our producer, Dexter, is coming in with a 3.75, and he has tallied this up super quick to a 3.375.
Yeah. No, that's great. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably jump that up to 3.5. Yep. So that's our overall score between the four of us. So 3.5.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So just stay tuned because we will be right back with beer number 2.
The second beer today is Clark is in Session. It's a Session IPA and has an ABV of 4.5% and 45 IBUs. It is gold and unfiltered, and it's hop forward with a very dry finish.
Wow.
Dry finish.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we have aromas of citrus, melon, and tropical fruit. It tastes of pleasant hoppiness with notes of spicy tangerine zest and a delicate touch of pine. Now, that is what they say it is, but we will see if it holds true.
We will see.
I hope it tastes pleasant. That'd be lovely.
It would be very nice if it's pleasant. So Clark in Session has an overall rating on Untappd of 3.45 bottle caps out of 5, and that's from 275 check-ins.
So that is a small group of check-ins, right?
Yeah.
Small village community.
Yeah.
But they're letting us know what they want, right?
All right, so let's open her up.
I'm already prepared for it.
The anticipation is killing us.
That's what we live for, is the anticipation on it. So I'm going to take a little bit of a pour here. Chris, you want to talk about the glassware?
Absolutely. So we're drinking out of a Session IPA, or we're drinking a Session IPA. So if you've been listening, you know we like to drink IPAs out of IPA glasses. So always make sure you're drinking your beer out of the proper glassware.
Thank you so much.
Look at the head on her. Let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that's all.
That's all you got?
You're not going to tell us?
That's all.
No, it's definitely a very, very frothy head, if you will. Might somewhat see it comparably to like a milkshake, but a big head on it for sure. I think, in my personal opinion. I could be wrong, who knows? But it's my opinion, so I'm entitled to it.
Maybe it's just the way you poured. We're not going to get into that again, I guess.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that a couple times.
We have.
Same skit, different day. So on the nose.
Yeah, well, they say aromas of citrus, melon, and tropical fruit. I think that is pretty close.
All coming through for me.
Yeah.
You're getting those?
Yep, all coming through. 100%.
See, I think this reminds me of the smell of my Aunt Vera.
Aloe vera?
No.
Oh, just Aunt Vera.
No, I just think it's. I'm not getting any of those kind of like that. I'm not getting a strong citrus. I'm not getting. Maybe it's more melon forward for me.
So what does your Aunt Vera smell like?
Well, if you want to go out and find out, please buy a Clark's in Session by Thornberry.
all I know is we don't want to have Amber from episode 3, Graham, and Aunt Vera in the same room.
That would be a terrible
No,
combination.
it's just I don't have any of those like strong melon or strong citrus kind of smells to it personally.
Yeah, I don't think the aromas are kind of hitting you that hard, but they're there.
They're very subtle.
Yeah.
They're not popping out by any stretch of the imagination,
sure.
but they're there.
I've got a large nose and I'm not picking up that, boys.
You do have a very large nose. Again, same skit, different day.
Yeah,
but it's huge.
We've been through how big your nose is
we
for
need,
sure. Yeah.
we need another shtick. No, so looking at the beer itself, this kind of plays the same kind of, as we've talked about previously with other beers, is in this glass, obviously the lower portion of it is thinner and it's a little bit more clear, at least mine is. And then it gets to a bit more of a hazier kind of look as you move
definitely
through
is a bit hazy.
The wider of the
Very
glass.
hazy at the bottom, at least on my end.
Right.
Again, could be the way I poured it, but that's just
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
And
yeah.
no sediments floating around.
No floating sediments whatsoever.
No
going through it here.
particulates walking around there.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Good carbonation to it. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays itself out. But yeah, very kind of standard kind of look to it with a nice little goldfish.
And now that we've gone through a couple minutes of letting the beer sit, pardon me, less head on it now. It's kind of normalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
That does happen.
That's all me.
But again, I mean, just going to the fragrance of it. I mean, it's got more of like this. I want to say flowery kind of flavor or smell to it than more of like the citrus or melon. And that's where I was kind of going with the Ant Veer. Like,
okay, so your Ant Veer tastes like flower or smells like flowers.
Like
I don't know how she tastes.
You know her? Yeah, I think it's very kind of like floral.
I don't want to find out how she tastes.
Like
that's
a
for
floral
sure.
perfume sort of thing.
You're spilling there, old spilly pants.
Oh, good lord.
Like, a little drip going on there. Between,
I think this beer needs to be drank and not spilled.
I was going to say, I think it's time to drink it.
Yeah, I think so. But I do get more of a floral kind of fragrance to it. So before you get any more crotch rot there, I think you should probably be putting that down.
Anybody got a hair dryer?
Put that down the old suck dumpster and give her a taste.
Thank God.
Jeez, my goodness.
Does your Aunt Vera taste bitter?
I don't know about how she tastes, but I know that she can be bitter about things in the past. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just go say about this beer's definitely bitter on my end.
Yeah,
I think very, very bitter.
Yeah, and it's 45 IBUs. I think
That's correct.
Yeah,
yes.
I feel like it drinks a bit more than that.
I feel it's more up in the 60 to 70 territory.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a little bit more heavier, I think, for sure. It's I don't know I can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting again that citrus kind of melon kind of feel to it. I'm just not.
I definitely don't get the flavors like a citrusy flavor. That's which is a little disappointing because it kind of explained it that way, and we definitely, you and I at least, Brett, smelt that on the
I was
nose.
expecting more of I was hoping for a little spice. It said spicy tangerine zest.
Right.
I don't have that coming through for me at all here.
No, I'm not getting that. So, I think it's interesting. So, Clarksburg is a neighboring village of Thornbury. So, it had a fair in the early 1900s.
Yeah. So, let's just step back a sec. We're going to talk about the can here.
Yeah.
So,
you want to get into that?
What's on the can there?
So,
Brett?
there is a pig.
A pig.
A very well-dressed pig.
Did you supply the picture for that?
I did not.
No, okay. It's just a regular pig.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if they look comparable. Maybe you'll see on our Instagram. Maybe we'll take a picture of us side by side and you can see the comparison between the pig and myself.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, we can do that.
No, we're not doing that.
Yes, but he is very well dressed. But yeah, to your point, Tyler. So Clarksburg, which is a neighboring village to Thornbury, also in the Blue Mountains, had a fair in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. And so I guess while Thornbury was researching the building that they had their cidery and brewery in, they found this picture of a guy sitting on a pig from the Clarksburg Fair. And so they called it Clark the Pig. So this is Clark the Pig on our beer.
All right.
So
that's an interesting kind of history.
I appreciate the history lesson on this beer for sure.
And apparently Clark the Pig shows up on every can of the cider that they do.
Okay.
He's just kind of hidden, in
a hidden Easter egg, if you will.
Yeah, like in a tractor.
Disney does that too, actually,
Yeah.
with Mickey Mouse here. So it's cool.
But apparently, from what I can see, I did a little bit of research on the Thornbury beers. First beer featuring Clark the Pig.
Is this one?
Is this one? Yeah.
As a feature. Well,
and he's really featured.
Oh,
yeah.
You can't miss him.
No.
Let me tell you.
If you're
He's
in the
a big
LCBO,
pig.
would you be able to find Clark on the shelves?
I mean, I would.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I would.
Well, it's like looking in the mirror for you, right?
No.
Exactly.
Self-portrait. So we're looking at the top 5 flavor profiles. So this is the thing. So we kind of talked about the flavor profiles, and as we go through these 5, I think they don't run completely parallel with how the beer has been described. Correct me if I'm wrong as we go through it. So number 1 is hoppy. Okay.
Yeah.
2
It's
is
definitely hoppy. For
yeah,
sure.
2 is piney, 3 citrus, 4 bitter, 5 thin. So it's interesting to note that the flavor notes of this is more citrus forward, and they don't mention piney in the description themselves.
Right.
right? And so I see this as more piney than I do citrus, right?
I definitely see more pine coming out of it now that I'm getting further down for sure.
Instead of that citrus feel. And maybe that's where I go back to kind of the on the nose, the smell of the beer is that kind of those aromas.
Yeah.
Where we go back to like the floral portion of it, and that's kind of the IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get where the thin is coming from, because I feel like it's lacking a bit of kind of flavor punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want.
If you're
more.
gonna ride that pine IPA, hit it.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna go with the citrus, hit it.
And I always feel like sometimes beers with like Eldorado hops in it always, advertise, okay, it's going to be this, and it just seems to lack when you come to actually tasting the beer itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where it is. And I said earlier on, I don't know if I could put my finger on it, but maybe this kind of helps. So I appreciate the Untapped community putting together 5 flavor profiles for it, because I think that kind of leads me down more of a path of this piney kind of earthy kind of flavor more so than the citrus personally.
I just don't get the thin. Like, pigs aren't thin.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, I'm just saying, I don't get the thin part of the flavor profiles, but it's there, so it's a thing.
Thin on flavor, I guess. But
that could be it.
But let's see what some of the reviews are from Untapped here.
Yeah, so Matthew M.D. Morton, 77, on November 20th said, Clark, my favorite Griswold, gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
He's my favorite Clark, too, for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Look,
I don't know a Clark, so it has to be.
I don't think I know any other Clarks.
And as we sit here and we record this, and as we said, this episode hopefully is dropping on the 24th. If you haven't watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you got something to do.
We watch it every Christmas
tonight.
Eve.
Yeah. Tonight's the night. So
for sure,
sit down, cuddle up, and drink a couple beers.
Exactly. Maybe some Thornberry beers.
Possibly. Perhaps. Whatever you got.
The next reviewer comes from Mike S., Royal City Snob.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Quite the beer snob on him, eh?
Probably from Guelph.
I'm hoping so. On October 17th, commented, I love Clark, both on the barbecue and in the can. Great job, Thornberry. Mike's picture is the can of the barbecue beside some pork ribs. So, Mike, if you're feeling like sending any pork ribs, the craft beer connoisseurs way, we are open to food as well.
We totally are.
Just so you know.
And
they gave it a 4 out of 5.
Say no to food. But that's the thing, right? Is like we're looking at it, and Clark the pig, put him on there. Mm-hmm. Get a little smoke going. We'll go from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I guess maybe I should get us started on the rating, shouldn't I? Because that's kind of the whole point of what we're doing here is rating the beers.
People want to know.
People want to know.
Don't rate the pig.
Should I let them know?
Don't rate the pig. Rate the beer.
Oh, okay. I'll rate the beer. In terms of the beer, I'm going to rate it smack dab average right in the middle, 3.5. Pretty decent for a session, but I was hoping for a little bit more. I'm just not getting it.
Yeah. So I just finished a sip there just to kind of make sure I get what I want. And I'm going to come in at a 2.75.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the citrus notes aren't coming through for me. I think it's very floral and very piney, and that's fine as it is.
Right.
If that's how you want to say and portray the beer, that's good. Yeah. So I'm at a 2.75 on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.25. I just feel like it's lacking a little bit, just a little bit more flavor would have bumped it a bit more. So producer Dexter is giving it a 3.0.
Yeah.
Now, with the math that he's going to tally up for us, the whole drum roll, please.
Was that what
kind of noise?
Is that what you
That's how I do a drum roll. Nothing. It comes to a 3.125, which will then round down to a 3.
3.0. Okay.
All right. Well, that's all for our conversation about Thornberry and their beers.
And so next we're going to have a conversation about Christmas. So stay tuned.
All right. Well, it's Christmas time tomorrow. If you're listening to this on the day that it's released, so we just wanted to talk a little bit about Christmas and what it looks like for each of us.
Right.
So maybe we'll just kind of start with any kind of Christmas traditions that we have. I know, Brett, you mentioned earlier about watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation every Christmas Eve. So
that correct, Mundo.
That's correct.
There is one more movie I always watch every Christmas.
Home Alone.
No, Christmas with the Cranks.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that movie.
Yes.
It's
so
not
also
that.
no.
good.
Here's the thing. It's a decent movie, but there's an Easter egg in the movie.
Okay.
So
I'm all for Easter eggs.
So I think it's about an hour in, and Tim Allen, I can't remember, Luther Crank is his character.
Sure.
So he's going to put up Frosty.
Yeah.
And he falls down the roof.
Yeah.
And he's hanging there.
Yeah.
Right? And he jokes about, what he was doing. And then the firefighters come in. And there's actually a firefighter who gets knocked in the head of a ladder.
Yeah, I remember you saying that snap.
And you can clearly see it.
It's smashed.
Like absolutely
Like
docked.
the ladder is on the fire truck?
No,
and
so the ladder.
They
So
go
the
to set it
firefighter,
up.
the firefighter's trying to grab a ladder, and he just swings and clocks him right in the head.
Yeah,
it is hilarious.
Yeah, you sent that. You sent that
Yeah, I sent that
Snapchat the other
Snapchat,
day. It was pretty funny.
It's like, all right, that's the best take we have.
Yeah, don't even redo it.
Yeah.
Just guys can cut.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of traditions, like watching Christmas movies, that's our thing. We kind of start. Geez, at my house it's like early November.
No. Survey says
You have to wait at least till November 12th to put anything up.
no.
I would prefer December 1st.
So
but I don't win.
So my birthday's on the 22nd of November.
God.
Yeah.
I'm all for the 23rd. I made an exception this year with my fiance and myself, is that we did it on my birthday. At the end of the night, we put up the Christmas tree, just because it was the weekend, so it made sense with both of us working the next day.
Right.
If we can kind of just dial it back a little bit to the Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So we now have an ongoing accidental tradition, Sarah and I do, where we watch the most horrendous Christmas movie out. I don't know how it happens, but so we watched on Netflix last year, The Christmas Chronicles with Russell Crowe, I believe it is.
I have
Kurt
never
Russell.
heard of
Kurt Russell, thank you.
So this will be the first mention, but my wife
Hey, we got her.
says I would love the Christmas Chronicles and the Christmas Chronicles.
I thought I would too.
2.
Yeah.
They just came out with number 2.
I saw that.
I have no interest.
Okay, so the first one, absolute garbage. Was not good. Not what I thought. And I think my problem is because I was comparing it to like Santa Claus, right, with Tim Allen.
Oh, okay.
This year, we put on one where like randomly, let's just pick a Christmas movie, not in these like Hallmark ones. We put on, it was called Christmas Survival. It's on Netflix. It is a British Christmas movie that has nothing really to do with Christmas, and it was so bad.
There's a lot of movies on Netflix that are terrible.
Absolutely
An
awful,
hour
yeah.
and 40 plus minutes. We watched the whole thing because we're that committed, and it was garbage. If you want to waste your evening, that is what you need to put on. I'm
Also,
sorry.
I got a nice Christmas gift from Netflix. They told me to my account's going up to $18.99 a month.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why?
That's
You
why
put out garbage. I don't need to pay $18.99 for this garbage.
That's why I don't pay for Netflix. I use someone else's.
Oh.
Same here.
Good call.
I'm in that camp.
Air
High five.
But yeah, speaking of Christmas movies, like you mentioned the Hallmark movies.
Yep.
Oh my God, they're on my TV
Why?
all
Why are they on
day.
TV?
Lori Laughlin's in prison, for God's
because-
sake. She can't see any more of those movies.
My wife.
Hey, hey,
Loves them.
I think it's the first time you've mentioned your wife. I hope we get a shout out on Instagram from your wife.
I hope so too.
That's
Maybe she'll
probably
talk
gonna be her
about-
favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, this will be
More
her
than
favorite
likely, if I know her.
because she loves the Hallmark movies, and I can't
No, I
really
can't stand
them
them.
because
It's rinse and repeat.
it's the same thing
Oh,
every
my
time.
goodness.
Same
So-
shit, different day.
If
Exactly.
if we get into actual traditions, this year's going to look a little bit different
sure.
for obvious reasons. Myself, usually what we would do is we'd go to my fiance's place, her parents' place. We'd do some gifts opening there. We'd go back to my parents' place like that evening. It's just a lot of driving back and forth.
Like all on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So and then we'd go back for Boxing Day to her Nana and Papa's. Love them to death. We usually get like a pizza or like meatballs or something.
Like
It's-
Domino's?
Oh, it's great. No. Like a Brantford special. Yeah, no, it's good. So love that, but it's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Producer Dexter has some kind of a similar kind of thing where he goes to his grandparents' place every Christmas Eve, and then they go to church. I believe that is on Christmas Eve. Yeah, so that's on Christmas Eve, Dexter's saying. So that's the thing, right? Is like this episode drops hopefully on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So we kind of have like that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then Boxing Day, and different traditions for the different days, right? And where you're at and what you're doing. So, Brett, what do you got?
So, Boxing Day. This is my tradition. As I love, depending if it's 4 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night, depending what time they play, is watching the World Juniors
Nice.
and watching Team Canada destroy, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan,
Germany,
Austria, Germany. Yeah. I always like when they have the weak link for the first game.
Cream puff game.
It's way better than Canada, Finland, right away.
Right.
No, I want to see them win 15-0 to start off my Boxing Day. Right. Not them have a 2-1 close game.
Yeah,
right.
buddy. I'm all for that. And that's the thing is, so going back to some of my family traditions is if it's on Boxing Day, we're at Sarah's, Nana, and Papa's, you got to put the game on. I don't care what we're eating. We're putting that game on. I'm drinking a couple beers.
Could be on your phone, on your tablet, on your TV.
I put it on their TV.
Put it on the big screen.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're putting it on the 55. We'll get the soundbar going. I'll turn it down a little bit because I'm sick and tired. Here's the thing.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Tyler rant. Yeah.
I'm a little bit sick and tired, and I love it because I'm going to be the same way. Is when you put on the fake Yule log, right? Yeah. And you got the Christmas music, and then there's 8 to 10. Give me an over and under of probably let's say 9. Right? How many comments are going to be made? Be like, oh, I'm getting pretty hot, a little toasty over here by the fire, right? It happens every Christmas. I love it, but I hate it all at the same time. Let's put the goddamn
I think you have to make a
junior
comment
game
about
on there.
it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm
you
sweating
can save
over
the
here.
Netflix Yule log for later.
Oh yeah, I'm sweating. It's just so hot over here.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what do you got?
In terms of traditions, there's nothing really set in stone. Right now, now that we have a daughter, it's her second Christmas, so we just do our own, the three of us.
Making your own
Christmas morning.
traditions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and usually all Christmas Day we're just by ourselves, and then depending on, we kind of like to alternate between going to each other's families on Boxing Day or, a couple days after, whatever, and then just kind of fitting it in. Usually, obviously, like you said, this year Christmas will be a little bit different, but usually it's a really busy week.
Right.
So
it is.
It might actually be kind of nice this year to just kind of take a step back and relax a little bit more.
Even though Christmas might more likely be virtual for a lot of people this year, the one thing that I'm not going to miss out on this year is Christmas baking. Because who doesn't like a nice soft gingerbread cookie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Christmas baking.
Yes, Christmas baking. And my wife, is a huge baker when it comes between the days of December 15th and December 24th. The other 300 and whatever days a year doesn't bake at all.
Well, I hope you enjoyed last year's cookies because you won't be getting any this year.
Yeah, that's what you think. This episode drops on December 24th, so I'm going to have all this by the time this drops.
I might have to text her.
That's a good point. So,
go ahead.
Yeah, so speaking of baking,
Yep.
Obviously with Christmas we eat a ton of food, sometimes way too much. So, what is our favorite Christmas food?
Pizza.
Pizza.
I can mock a pizza for Christmas Eve, and then we've had that at Sarah's Papa's.
So, but what about traditional Christmas food?
Traditional. We're going traditional.
For me, I'd much rather a ham at Christmas than a turkey.
With or without pineapple?
With.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Also, pineapple does belong on pizza.
Yes.
So anybody who is out there hating pineapple on pizza,
gone.
Yeah.
It belongs.
Delete.
It belongs, but it's not my favorite.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I could say the same thing about you.
Yeah. So no, ham with pineapple, a little bit of orange juice.
Au jus?
Because
I think you call it au jus.
Just because turkey gets you tired. So you overeat on turkey, and all of a sudden by the time you eat, or not eat, but go to gifts, you just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I think producer Dexter and I are on this exact same page. Addressing and stuffing. Hit me up. So Sarah's Aunt Mitch, she does generally a great stuffing. Yes. Hook that up with a gravy.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yes. I love stuffing.
You're there too?
Turkey, probably
Turkey
the
for
most
me and
overrated
turkey for
food.
You.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Most overrated.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So a nice moist stuffing.
Yeah.
I'm all there with
All
it.
right.
You mean like the Kraft stovetop?
No.
No.
Are we talking? Okay, so here's the other thing. Dexter, you can chime in on this one too with your fancy finger typing. Do we think that stuffing is best in the bird or outside of the bird?
A wet stuffing.
I'm an out.
You're an out? Yeah. See, okay, so my mom makes a great stuffing as well, and usually it's done in the crock pot and outside. I'm all for that too. Dexter and Chris seem to be in the bird, wet, agreed, moist. I think we're trying to shorten our words up, I guess, Dexter.
Yeah. Dexter doesn't have a very big vocabulary.
No, that's good. So let's move on to Christmas trees. Where do we stand on the old Christmas tree debate?
Well, definitely a fake Christmas tree for me, especially when in our house it goes up in the middle of November. You can't do that with a real tree. So I'm fake all the way.
Oh, always fake. I got 2 Christmas trees. One is like white downstairs. One is green upstairs. Fake is always better.
Yeah.
When it comes to Christmas trees, not other things.
So Dexter's coming in and he says, used to have a real Christmas tree as a kid. Then his parents, he didn't say this, but I'll say it, probably got a little bit lazy.
They've slacked for sure.
10 out of 15 years, the last ones have been fake. I've always had a fake Christmas tree. I think it's a lot of work to kind of maintain it, right? So we also go with the fake Christmas tree. We got a hand-me-down from Sarah's parents, and it looks great. You guys are looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it right now.
It
looks fantastic. Love the snowman at the top, by the way.
That's compliments of Sarah's Nana and Papa. We didn't go with a star or an angel. We went with a snowman.
You've mentioned Sarah a whole heck of a lot here, haven't you?
That's a lot.
You love what you love.
That's true.
All right. So that basically concludes our conversation on Christmas. We hope everybody has a safe Christmas this year.
Absolutely. And Merry Christmas.
Yes. And happy holidays to
Stay
everybody.
thirsty and stay safe for sure.
So we'll be right back with our goodbyes, and thanks for listening.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode.
Thanks again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode, and this is our last one for 2020. We'll see you in 2021.
Oh, yes, we will, for sure.
We made it to 2021.
We did it! Make sure to tell your friends, family, and jolly old Saint Nick.
So from all of us and producer Dexter, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.